Good afternoon, all. Number of presentations from our professional colleagues talking about Islamic financing, healthcare, stop, and all that. So today we are going to have entirely a different flavor. Of course, even though yesterday someone talked about real estate, but today we are going to see or discuss in the next couple of minutes that real estate is a tool to address insecurity in Nigeria. Before I go deep into my presentations, I just want you to give more round of applause to Yinka, who have talked so much about what I intended to talk about. And I think his presentation is aligned with the realities that we are facing in this country. My name is Abubakar Suleiman. I'm a real estate consultant. So as the topic goes, real estate as a tool to address insecurity in this country. As we are all aware, Nigeria is facing serious security issues, talking about armed robbery, banditry, kidnapping, and rest. And I certainly believe if we are to use real estate as an industry or a tool, certainly it will go a long way in addressing the insecurity problems that we are having in Nigeria. It's very simple. The people who actively engage themselves into the criminal activities we are talking about, these are people who are in their active age, talking about which contribute 20% of the population of this country. So if those group of people who are very important are to be engaged into activities within the domain of real estate, that will go a long way in addressing their problems. This is just trying to show some background information and statistics that Nigeria, in the entire world, real estate occupies a central position in the economic development of any nation. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case, with the performance of real estate as one of the key business indices to be very suboptimal or low, in other words. Real estate serves as a driver of employment, investment, and infrastructure growth, talking about the number of jobs that can be created within the industry. Of course, in Nigeria, real estate is one of the most dynamic sectors with significant potentials to stimulate economic expansion and enhance citizens' welfare. Encompasses activities related to acquisition, development, leasing, sales, and management of land in buildings. All these are opportunities to engage our youth. Of course, like any other country, we have some government agencies along with some independent organizations that regulate the activities of real estate in these countries. Of course, we are talking about the Federal Ministry of Lands, Works at the central level, state land and development authorities, that's at state level, and we of course have the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. These are bodies that regulate real estate activities in the country. Well, as I said, we are talking about using real estate as a tool to create, to address the insecurity, and in other words, to create jobs opportunities to our youth. Of course, if the sector is managed very well, more than 2 billion jobs can be created. This is from the National Bureau of Statistics, which you will all agree with me. We have to look at these statistics and figures we are talking about in context. As I said earlier, real estate is a very important sector that is expected to handle and takes care of significant portion of employment in this country. But of course, this industry is performing below expectation. You will all agree with me, this is a data that we put across looking at the past 3 years, 2023, 2024, and 2025. This is the performance per year. We are talking about 6.2% in 2025. This is quite suboptimal. We are talking about 5.4 in 2024. Of course, with a bit some improvement in 2025. 2026 is under review. So if this is the performance over a period of 3 years, you will agree with me. And we are also saying this is a sector that is very important looking at the economy. And with this performance, I think we are in serious trouble. I want you to go, because of time, through. This is the performance per state. And this is an analysis that is conducted with a view to know at least what is the performance by state and what is the expectation. Of course, this is a population of Nigeria by state from 2029 census. And as we know, 60% of the population is the youth we are talking about. So this is it. And this is the expected jobs to be created, looking at least if each and every state will build 200 houses in a year, and looking at the number of expected youths to be committed in various skill and unskilled jobs, we are to create this number of jobs and look at the performance. And this, of course, corroborate with this. When you look at it from the individual state, talking about 4, 3, and what have you. So it's corroborating that the performance is quite suboptimal. We have, this is the remaining state, but in the overall, this is the performance in the country, which is also alarming. I think we have to look at, if you are to build at least a 2-bedroom flat, you need at least 25 people to partake in the construction. We are talking about skilled and unskilled labor. Of course, we know what is skilled and unskilled labor it is all about. And then, so this also corroborates with the fact that, as we are saying, this 8% that is coming from the overall performance, which is quite suboptimal, and I think we need to do something to change the narration. Of course, what can we do to improve this? I think the major problem, that's why I say we should appreciate Yinka more, it has to do with the fact that we need a mass housing as a policy in this country. And the civil servants who are sacrificing their time to the development of this country, they are there in need of houses. And the deficit is increasing by year, looking at the National Bureau of Statistics and the Global Housing Index. Secondly, I think local labor, we do prioritize expatriate outside the country when it comes to construction and other related activities in land, so which is also contribution to unemployment of our own people. Of course, we have to focus on locally made materials. We are also talking about property marketing and sale is an opportunity that will engage young people. Of course, we have supply chain jobs. Sometimes we imported material from places like China and rest of them, which is also a problem. Due to time, I think I will allow you and share this slide with you to go through. Thank you so much. My name is Abubakar.